Hello everyone, I'm Hex Speedruns here, and I'm going to explain Hex Skip. You all have been wanting this for a very long time, so I'm here to deliver. So what is Hex Skip? Well, basically it's a 2-second skip in Pyramid Cave that's really hard, but it looks amazing. You pull this off, you'll win the respect of anyone watching. Now, 2 seconds doesn't sound like a lot, but at top level it is, especially if you're doing ILs. So that's why you're starting to see more and more people go for this skip. Now, what I've done is I've taken a video of me doing the skip, and I'm going to walk you through the stuff that I noticed to make this skip as consistent as possible. This skip is really, really hard. It's not going to be consistent. It's not going to be 100%, but I'm giving you the stuff that I learned and the stuff that I figured out that makes it so that you have the greatest chance of pulling this off. So we're going to watch it through one time, and then I'll start explaining. So that's Hex Skip. It looks hard. It is hard. But I'll explain how to get this. So obviously you do your generic movement to get to the snake. You know, classic super bounce and stuff. Now here's where stuff changes. So what I do is I make sure that Sonic has like very little speed when going up here. If you have too much speed, there's a chance that you won't get a good enough angle to go over to that wall. So the next thing that I do is I get up on the snake and I start charging a spin dash. Now, I don't know if you guys noticed, but I wasn't very high up. I was around the second ridge right here. You don't need to be super high up on the snake for this to work. I'm telling you, it's more important that you get a good spin dash and delay your bounce than getting really high up on the snake. And you'll see this. Watch. Do you see how far up I bounced, or how far up I spin dashed before I bounced, excuse me? I waited a solid second before I bounced, but I still have skewed gravity. That makes it so much easier than to make it if you like immediately bounce. It's better to delay your spin dash. So, as you can see, I'm in the air. I'm going to go over. I'm bouncing, bouncing, bouncing. I tend to homing attack a little bit before you cross this snake. A little bit before you cross that snake, that's when you want a homing attack. Now, as I'm going closer to the wall, I start to hold, look, directly right. You want to start holding directly right. That is something that you want to do. That is not something that is optional. You want to do this. This gives you the best chance of getting a wall run on the wall. Because look, as soon as I hit the wall, look, I start running. At this point, you're good to start holding around upright angle. But definitely, you definitely want to know this. You definitely want to know this. This is huge. So that's for the wall part. Now, let's continue. Just a side note, running up this wall is not easy. You see other runners do a spin dash. Running up this wall is hard. You got to make sure that your hands are still throughout this point. It's not easy. You definitely have a risk of falling off, but something that I want to let you guys know that really helps me is I make sure that I charge the spin dash while I'm going up. I don't wait until I'm at the point where I want to be spin dashing to charge it. I want to start charging it a little bit earlier. Because like, as you see right here, I start charging. Right around when I pass this line, I start charging. That's a pretty good visual cue. Is like right as I pass that line, I start charging. Alright. I'm going to rewind a little bit. See, I'm right here. When I get here, my goal is to face to the left. The angle that you want to hold here, it's going to take you a little bit to figure out. It's going to take a little bit. But I genuinely hold kind of up leftish. I don't want to be too far up because then when we get the loop speed, we'll immediately hit the kill plane. But I hold left and then up a good amount, but not too much. Now what you want to do after you do this is you want to bounce twice. You don't want to bounce too quickly, but you don't want to bounce too slow. Let's take a look at the bounce that I do here. This is pretty consistent for the timing. Like, as you can see, I go bounce, bounce. I don't do it too quickly. Like, I don't go like that, but I also don't go. So that's what you want to think. Like, the correct tempo you want to go is like this. Like that. That's the correct tempo. That's how you want to go. That rhythm is crucial. That rhythm will pretty much get you to the wall every time. And then another thing that you want to notice is I wait a little bit until Sonic is in view before I homing attack onto the wall. The last part of this skip is when you're out of this bounce, you want a homing attack. This is really important. You do not want to do a homing attack cancel. If you do a homing attack cancel, you're more likely to lose all the loop speed and die. Honestly, if you get to this point, there's no reason why you shouldn't hit the skip. But if you do a homing attack cancel, you run the risk of just dying. So what I do is I just do a normal homing attack. I do a normal homing attack, you see, and I make it to the wall. At this point, you'll have enough speed so that you can just hold up. But honestly, this is really down to preference, but you can jump and homing attack when you get to this wall. I find that a little bit easier. It's a little bit slower, but I find that more consistent because it sucks if you get here and Sonic just falls off the wall. That's happened to me many times before. And that's Hex Skip. A lot of moving stuff. Hard parts. We'll run through it one more time. I'll go over, reinforce it, and we should be good. So, we do our generic movement. Obviously, I fail this at the start because I'm bad, but you're not, so you won't fail that. I get up on the snake, around the second line. Homing attack. Delay my bounce. I delay my bounce. Delay my bounce around a 3/4 of a second to a second. Homing attack. Doesn't matter if you homing attack cancel here. Remember, start to hold right. Go up the wall. Holding right there. Really important. I start charging my spin dash. I'll rewind a sec. Start charging my spin dash as I cross this line. Turn Sonic to the left, slightly up. Bounce, bounce. Homing attack, jump. And you've done it. That's Hex Skip. Hope this provided some insight. Hopefully people start going for this skip. Hopefully people learn it. It's not as bad as you think, but it is a little tricky. Thanks for watching, and good luck.